Om Vasudeva Shutam Devam Kamshachanuramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadigurum. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We salute Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of demon Kamsa and Chanura, the darling of Mother Jasoda and the world teacher. I salute him again and again on peace, peace, peace. Now we are back to our reading today, 7th chapter, verse number 9. But just to say a few words, we got the view that the Narada appeared before Vyasa, who was meditating on the bank of the river Saraswati, and the sun was rising, and Narada suddenly appeared and saw that Vyasa is not happy. So he asked, "How are you?" And then he said, I've composed this, but I'm not finding joy. So what? Then he said, what he said? So what did the great Vyasa then after, because you have not talked about God and His glory, you have talked about the highest truth of Vedanta, but you have not mentioned anything about devotion, how to live in the world and enjoy the bliss of that God who is infinite, but again who takes the human form of Saguna Brahma. You have talked about Nirguna Brahma so much, but you have not meditated on Saguna Brahma. So, that thought took position in his mind. So what then Saunaka said? That what did the great holy sage Vyasadeva then do when Narada then departed after giving that advice? Narada left. Then Vyasa, what he did? The narrator describing that on the western bank of the river Saraswati, there was a resort where holy men used to do and meditate. And that place name was Samyaprasha, a Sanskrit name of a place, like we call Hollywood. Like that there was a place, Samyaprasha. And that was most suited for spiritual retreats and people meditating. So he then went there and sitting in his ashrama, and the groves of beautiful trees, and then the sage Vyasa went into samadhi. And after this, in his pursuit and made concentrated to divine love, he had the perfect vision of the Supreme Being. He got the vision there. And the power of Maya. It is by that power of Maya that the Jiva, individual, though he is in reality free spirit, mistakenly consider himself as body, the product of the gunas, and then invite all type of suffering. In his meditation, he felt that. He also realized that the panacea for the suffering of humanity, from now also, since the time immemorial, all the sufferings which we human personalities go through, panacea or release from this suffering is to remove the ignorance. Avidya or Maya is how? Is devotion to the Lord. That illumines says therefore, that illumines says is Vyasa. Vyasa then composed this Bhagavata Purana, this book we are reading now. It is called Sa Tattva Sanghita, another name, Sanskrit name. Like some Smriti, Shruti, it is called Sa Tattva Samhita. That is the scripture of devotion. And he composed this for the benefit of the men who are groveling in the ignorance of spiritual nature. After composing this Bhagavata and carefully revising it himself, the sage Vyasa, then whom he will teach? His son, as we know, Sukadeva, was extremely pure and the knower of Brahman from the very birth. He was born with the wisdom. He was born when there will be no Maya. So, he found him the best suited student. He composed that and then gave it to him. Now the verse 9 starts. Saunaka said again, Sukha is contemplating par excellence. Sukadeva is a man who is always absorbed in the highest knowledge. Because he is a par excellence Brahmajnani, normally people born here with spiritual practice, one day they get illumination and more and they get freed from Maya. But Sukadeva was before birth, he had his total knowledge. So, a thoroughgoing renouncer, this is Sukadeva's adjectives. Renouncer who is not interested in anything but absorption in the self, like Swamiji. He does not want anything but to be in Samadhi. So Sukadeva was like that. How did he then take the study of this very extensive scripture? His question is that Sukadeva is born Brahmajnani and his mind is not in the world at all. So he was absorbed in Samadhi all the time. How he was taught this, you say that he was taught to Sukadeva. How Sukadeva could listen to it and memorize and kept this. Then Suta, who is called the narrator. Narrator said, it is true that sages were absorbed in self, in the self, capital self, are not in need of any book learning, but they are endowed with spontaneous devotion, motivated by no self-centered desire. Such is the inherent attractiveness of Lord Sri Hari, that even such contemplatives steeped in the Atman consciousness are drawn to him. This is one of the wonderful verse quoted many times by many people. It is called Atma Ramascho Munayo Nirgantha Upi Urukrame. Though these people like Sukadeva, they are absorbed in Atmarama, in the Arama of the self, totally absorbed. Nirgrantha, they have no tie in the world, they have no bondage in the world, free from that. Urukrame, in the Lord, personified Lord, Krishna or Bhagavan. Kurvanti ahaita king bhakti, they have tremendous love. When they come down from Samadhi, what they will live? They cannot live with the mundane, this world of this in which we dwell. Therefore they live to live in the high state of spiritual consciousness. They live in the pure love for God. Akurvanti ahoituking bhakti. They do that bhakti, that devotion. Ahoituki means which has no reason and rhyme. Why they do? You cannot question that. It is spontaneous. Spontaneously, Thakur said, Bhakti Bhakta. When he comes down from Samadhi, he cannot live with mundane world. So he is to need, that's why pure souls around, Brahmananda, Rakhal, Kibale, Naren, Rakhal, all these youngsters, and highly uplifted spiritual people were around him only. So such is the inherent attractiveness of Sri Hari. That is the God attracts their mind. That though his mind going to shoot out in samadhi to bring the mind down, they are captivated in the love of Narayana, God. As Ramakrishna used to live in Ma Kali. He used to call the personified God as Holy Mother, Ma. Such is the inherent attractiveness of Sri Hari that even such contemplatives who are steeped in the Atman consciousness are drawn to him. Because Sri Shuka, the son of Vyasa, was extremely fond of devotees and their company, and because he was strongly fascinated by the excellences of the Lord, he took the trouble of learning extensive literature so that he might serve the Lord and the devotees by expounding it. Therefore, though Sukadev, it is impossible for him to bring the mind down, but he was absorbed in learning this lesson of Sri Krishna from his father, that is Vyasa, for the good of the world, because he will then preach and pronounce that message all over. So now 12th verse. It's going back to the story of the war incident, battlefield in the Kurukshetra, the war where Arjuna was battling with the opponent forces, that story. It says, I shall now narrate. Who is saying this? Again, the narrator. He says, I shall now narrate to you as a background for Sri Krishna's life story. Because this book will be talking about the story of Sri Krishna's wonderful spiritual Leela, divine sport. I shall now narrate to you as a background for Sri Krishna's life story on account of the Parikshit's birth, activities and death, as also the departure, past return of the sons of Pandu. Meaning, this book is described now how Krishna was there and Krishna's role in the play in the Mahabharata, in the Great War, and how Sri Krishna, this King Parikshit, who is talking to Shukadev, that is narrated here in the book. So how this Parikshit, King Parikshit, died, and how the departure of the return of the sons of Pandu, how the son of Pandu, the 5 sons, they came back to life. When the heroes of the clans of Kauravas and Pandavas had attained to the consummation of a hero's desire, that is, dying in the battlefield, they all took an oath that we shall die, fight and die. So, in the battlefield. For the warriors, that is a big virtue. That in the war, I will be killed or I will kill. That's all. If I kill, my victory is mine. I enjoy the earth. If I am defeated, I will die and I will go to heaven and enjoy. That's the belief of the warriors. So dying in the battlefield, when the Dhritarashtra, the son of Dhritarashtra, Suryodhana, was laid low with his thigh broken by might of big brick-order of Bhima. Then Ashwatthama, the son of Drona, desirous of doing what he thought would please his master Suryodhana, stealthily cut off the head of the 5 sons of Pandava by Panchali. Panchali is Draupadi, no? Panchali. The Draupadi, Arjuna's wife, 5 brothers' wife. As they slept, the children were sleeping in their Vaibhaus, what is that? Bivas. Bivas, what is the meaning? Bivouac. What is that? Bouac. Slept in their bivouacs at night. That means these 5 children were sleeping and temporary camp after the war. There is no tent, there is no cover. That means it is open. And
especially used by soldiers or mountaineers.
Yeah, that's the the son of the 5 sons of Draupadi, at the end of the day, they were sleeping. And then unethically they went at night and Suryodhana, they killed the 5 heads of the children. But when he presented these heads even to Suryodhana, was not pleased with it. And for none would be pleased with such an extremely heinous act. Then Panchali, the Draupadi, when she heard of the very brutal way in which her young boys had been slaughtered, was overwhelmed with grief. Naturally, mother will be extremely grieved when the 5 children are killed like that, not in the war, but when they are taking rest at odd hours. Normally there is a protocol of war. You cannot do after the sunset, no war. And when they are sleeping without any weapon, you go and kill them. It is unethical. So that naturally the mother was very upset and 5 children were killed at a time, no? Was overwhelmed with the grief and began to weep and wail, with torrents of tears flowing from her eyes. Thereupon the hero Arjuna, the one with a wrath-adorned crown, tried to console the Draupadi or Panchali. What Arjuna said? Arjuna said to his wife, who was crying and weeping, no? When I have ripped the head of that despicable Brahmana, the murderer, whose name is Aswathama, with arrows released from my bow, Govinda, and put it before you, and when sitting on it, you have attended to the cremation of your sons, and after its completion, taken your ritual bath, then, O good lady, then alone shall it be time for me to wipe the tears of your sorrowing self. It's a warrior talking to the warrior wife, no? I will kill this guy who has killed the 5 children, and before that, I'll bring before you his head, cut head, and then he will be sitting there, and all these other children will also be cremated together, but then you will be rejoicing. I will kill the enemy first, who has killed unethically, Aswathama, killing the 5 sons of Draupadi and 5 brothers. Thus, somehow, comforting his dear wife with such a flow of words, pleasing and flowery, Arjuna, having Krishna as both his friend and charioteer, started in pursuit of finding Aswathama. Then where is Aswathama? So he asked Krishna, please drive my chariot, to find where is Aswathama. And started in pursuit of Aswathama, the son of the preceptor. Who is Aswathama? Aswathama is the son of the guru, his archery, his teacher who taught him archery, Drona. So Drona's son is Aswathama. Aswathama killed the 5 children and took their heads before Arjuna, Duryodhana. But Duryodhana was not happy because of this unethical killing. No. But anyhow, now Arjuna is now angry. Arjuna is to find out where is Aswathama. and he's chasing Ashwatthama. And in pursuit of Ashwatthama, Ashwatthama is the son of, as I said, his guru, Arjuna's guru, whose name is what? Drona. This is very complicated in one day to remember all this. I cannot remember all this, very complicated. But anyhow, you understand that Draupadi's 5 sons was killed by one gentleman, Ashwatthama. And Arjuna gave comfort to the wife, don't worry, your tears, I will kill the killer and present before you. Then you will be happy to take a revenge. So, like that, and Arjuna now asking this charioteer Krishna, Krishna, take me, where is Ashwatthama, to find him. So, now they are chasing Ashwatthama. Who is the Ashwatthama? Ashwatthama is the son of his own guru, who taught the learning of weapon, how to utilize and warrior. So, holding the son of the Arjuna, having Krishna as both of his friend and charioteer, started in pursuit of Ashwatthama, the son of Drona, holding in his Arjuna's hand the terrific bow of Gandiva and seated in the chariot with the figure of a monkey in its flag emblem. That means Arjuna's chariot always carried a symbol. No? Because Arjuna is the military chief on this behalf. So everyone knows, oh, it is who is now here present. The military chief is here. That means it's a frightening affair. And a serious, powerful person, most powerful person in the world is now before me to kill me. No? So naturally everyone will get frightened. So he gave that. In his chariot there is a flag. And in his flag there is a symbol. What is the symbol? Monkey. Hanuman. With the monkey, Hanuman. The figure of a monkey and display. Monkey means Hanuman. Now, seeing the fast approaching Arjuna from a distance, this Ashwatthama, who killed these innocent children, the murderer of the 5 children, ascended his chariot with a trembling heart and fled as fast as he can for fear of life, as Brahma once did out of fear of Rudra. Anyhow, so he started running, seeing that Arjuna is chasing him to kill. Now, Ashwatthama of Brahmana parentage, finding his father was a great warrior, so finding his horses exhausted, he's running away, but the horses got exhausted. Then Arjuna is approaching very close and himself becoming helpless, even to the escape, now thought of Brahma's missile. In those days, there is a weapon called Brahmastra. Astra means the weapon, and missile of Brahma, the creator. That is invincible. If that missile is done, it is like atom bomb in those days. That will destroy the entire country. There is no escape. No counter missile is created for Brahmastra. You cannot stop that. If once it goes out of the hand, boom. But to get it, you have to do it in extreme austerity, and you have to know all these, how to put it, how to stop it, no? Those control. So missiles on the means to Brahma missile as the only means to save him. So how to protect? So he threw the Brahmastra, that weapon, missile. Though not knowing the withdrawal of the Brahma missile, you can throw, but you should know both, how to throw, how to withdraw. Ashwatthama, confronted as he was with an instant threat to life, now performed the necessary purificatory rites and the mental abstractions and released that divine missile. He lost his mind and he released that missile. Now this missile is going towards Arjuna. But Arjuna has also, he knows this missile how to throw and arrest and withdraw. So then seeing the fierce and radiant energy spreading over out of that missile and threatening his own life, Arjuna said as follows to Krishna, O Krishna, O thou the mighty armed, because this is addressed to Arjuna, that Ashwatthama who killed the sons, now he has thrown a missile which can destroy the whole earth, and it is directed towards Arjuna. So it is running towards him. So he said, Oh Krishna, you are my charioteer, also you are my guide and everything. Now what shall I do? Please protect me. No. So, O thou the mighty armed, O Saviour of the devotees, to men burning in the fears of samsara, you are the only heaven of safety. O Krishna, you are the heaven of safety. You are the origin of all. You are from you, Vedanta, again Vedanta coming. You are the source of all creation and the all-comprehensive being. You are the Lord Himself, transcending the Prakriti. You are beyond Prakriti. By the power of your spiritual potency, Chit Shakti, thou art not affected by the material potency, Maya Shakti, because you are manifestation of the consciousness. Therefore, the Maya, the ignorance, cannot touch you. Thus, you remain unaffected by all changes as the universal self. You are the universal self. Everything changes, but you don't change. You are the Atman, you are the Absolute. By the power of your grace, you bestow on the jivas, individual jivas, groveling in the ignorance generated by Maya, the means of spiritual upliftment. So, this incarnation now too, while one of its own purpose might be to face the earth of a burden of the wicked men, is really to provide your devotee, those who love is exclusively directed to you, with matter of devotional import to contemplate upon. So, you are born to redeem the suffering of others in this age. So now, those who will devotedly pray to you, you will protect. Therefore, O Lord of all lords, here comes a mighty radiance of terrific prowess, multi-pronged and facing all directions. No? You have seen that in Ramayana, Mahabharata. They will find, if you have seen, online you can check on those, movie. There you will find when they are throwing that arrow, it is multi-pronged rays, radiate from all direction. You cannot escape. You will be covered by all the rays. You go that side, that side, that side. It is such a huge area of rays. That means you cannot escape because it is Brahmastra. So, I know not what it is and whence it comes. No, it is approaching. Please see, I am covered by that. You will not be affected. You are God yourself. But I fervently pray for you. So protect me. That is the request. Who did? Arjuna did. To whom? To Krishna, the charioteer. And who threw the arrow? Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama, who is the son of Arjuna's guru, archer guru, who taught him. It is the guru's son being versus both are sons. We call guru's children, no? The student is guru's children, is guru's son. His own son versus his student son. The Bhagavan said, now Bhagavan is saying verse number 27 on the page 30 page. Bhagavan said, this is the Brahma missile released by the son of Drona, frightened by the prospect of his own annihilation. He is not an expert at it. He had learned somehow, but he do not know how to control. If you are given a big, huge, destructive missile and you don't know how to handle it, what will happen? It will kill you also. So he does not know. He is not an expert at it, for he does not know how to retreat it, how can withdraw it. Okay, you can throw, you can withdraw. There is no other missile that can counteract this Brahma missile. Huh? You are an expert in releasing and retracting these missiles. Now combat and destroy the might of this missile by yourself releasing a Brahma missile against it. Now you throw another Brahma missile, it will interject inside. You understand? Missile and anti-missile, no? In the big war, modern day war, you see, in early days they have such powerful missiles and anti-missiles. That's why it is called the Indian old civilization was very advanced in technology also. It is not that today is only missile. They using all this, that one such missile can destroy the whole Nagasaki, Hiroshima was destroyed, no? By one atom bomb. So it is they say missile. It is similar like thing. It can destroy the array of people, but you have to know how you can diffuse it. Suppose you have put it in wrong direction, you have to have the power to retreat it, no? So that's why then Sri Krishna gave this simple response. Oh Arjuna, you are also master in this missile. This is called the Brahma missile. So you know how to control, how to retract. So you throw your missile so that it will interject and it will be diffused. Then the sutta, again it coming to the, what happened to Ashwatthama now? Now Arjuna was in fear and Arjuna was instructed by Bhagavan Krishna that you put another Brahma missile. And now what happens? This is the verse number 29. It's narrated by, the narrator says, hearing the words of Lord Krishna, Arjuna, the terror of his foes, purified himself and circumambulated Sri Krishna by way of adoration of him, and then released his own Brahma missile to destroy the opponents. So he then threw the weapon. Why it is said purified? I think what is, in the big war, you cannot hastily do anything. You have to concentrate. There is code number. And everywhere passcode is there. In those modern machines, you go everywhere, there will be some passcode. Password, passcode. So then to concentrate that, purified, thinking of God inside, means mind being calmed down, and then he circumambulated around Bhagavan Krishna 3 times, purified himself, and then he, when that adorned by him, then released his own Brahma missile to destroy Ashwatthama, opposition. 30. When the brilliant radiance of the 2 missiles joined in confrontation, that brilliance overcast all space, all the quarters and the sky, argumenting as the brilliance of the sun at the cosmic dissolution does when the fire emitted from the mouths of the Adhisesu joining with. Adhisesu is the... So it is like 2 missiles now fighting with each other, and it is the brilliance of that is dazzling, and it is the whole array of warriors are confounded with that. Seeing that brilliant heat burning all the 3 worlds, all who were affected by it thought that it was really the fire generated at the time of cosmic dissolution, as if the whole earth is going to be destroyed now. 32. Ascertaining the view of Sri Krishna, Arjuna then retracted both the missiles. So interjected, and now he has the power to withdraw both. The time of the Arjuna retracted both the missiles, as they would otherwise cause great destruction and distress among the living beings. 33. Then Arjuna, his eyes red with anger, approached the cruel Ashwatthama and tied him up with ropes as if he were a sacrificial animal. So he caught. Now your last weapon is gone from the power. So he tied this Ashwatthama, who killed his 5 sons, and then going to take action. With an 34, with an air of anger, the Lord said to Arjuna, as he dragged the rope enemy by force towards his Vaibhavas, that means the same place where they are killed. O Arjuna, this villain of Brahman deserves no pardon. Kill him. He has slaughtered mere boys, innocent and asleep at night. They say it is Krishna is giving instruction. Don't be compassionate now. He has killed your 5 innocent children. Now he is through the Brahma missile, and you throw your Brahma missile and we extracted and withdrawn. Now get a chance. Now he is under your control. Therefore, just take action now. Kill him, because he has slaughtered the mere 5 children, 5 boys who are innocent, asleep at night. A man who knows right conduct should not slaughter an intoxicated man or absent-minded person, a madman, a man asleep, a child, a woman, an idiot, a refuge, a frightened man, or one whose chariot is broken into the battle, even if he be an enemy. Krishna says these are the rules, that you should not kill a person who is unmindful, absent-minded, and you go and kill. No, you should fight with strength. That means not to a child, not kill any woman, and a fool or a refuge or a frightened person. Give some scope and fight like a bear, like a warrior. Warriors should be strong to fight with another warrior. Thus, on a merciless criminal who seeks to thrive by the slaughter of others, death inflicted is but a boon. For if he lives, he will degrade himself more and more by his cruel propensities. If you let Ashwatthama now go, you may be feeling little compassion now. If you do that, this person will create more trouble for the society by his ill behavior. And
for himself too.
Yeah. 38. And besides, you have promised Panchali, when you just talked to your wife Draupadi. In my hearing, I have heard that. O esteemed lady, what you said? You said to your wife, O esteemed lady, I shall forthwith bring the head of the murderer of your sons. Therefore, let this hateful sinner, the murderer of children, be put to death at once. A shame to his own tribe, he has violated the sentiments of his master even. Because his father is such a warrior, and he should not kill innocent children sleeping at the night time in the open space, where there is normal protocol, no one should come and hit them. Now Suta said, again, narrator is continuing. 40 verse. Still Arjuna did not like to execute Ashwatthama, the son of his own teacher Drona, in spite of the prompting of Sri Krishna, whose intention was to test Arjuna's sense of right conduct. Actually, Krishna was also giving some suggestion to see how much Arjuna is a man of character. Naturally, anyone will kill. But next, Arjuna, who had the divine Krishna both as his chariot and friend, moved to his wife house and informed his sorrowing wife of the capture of Ashwatthama. Seeing Ashwatthama in that condition, tied up like an animal and hanging his head ashamed of his own despicable act, the noble Panchali Draupadi was overcome with piety. She made prostration to the captive, as he was the son of their venerable teacher Drona. Unable to bear the sight of Ashwatthama in bondage, she cried out in great concentration. Release him, release him. He is Brahmana and also a venerated elder, being the son of our teacher. See, Draupadi, she was crying before, and now when the Ashwatthama killed her innocent children, but now you see, she got emotionally affected and thinking, don't kill, don't kill, don't kill. He is my Guru's son. So, just release him. That's it. How the greatness, we can say, forgetting that his own anger or frustration or loss, because respect for Guru and Guru's son. You are my Guru. After all, he's my Guru's son. So you have captivated him, tied him, and he is now shameful, just standing before me. So please release, release. He is telling her husband, Arjuna, release, release, release. In the form of his son, here stands before you Dronacharya himself. He's giving advice. You, the son, you are seeing the son means think that his guru is, your guru is standing here in this form. The one who has taught you the whole of the science of arms, together with all the secret mantras connected with to release and retract of the powerful missiles. Besides his mother, Drona's wife, who is the sister of Kripa, has survived her husband and is still alive for the sake of her heroic son. That means his mother will be bereaved if you kill Ashwatthama. That means Guru's wife, she will also feel so much pain if the son is killed. My lord, you are well acquainted with the rules and righteous conduct. It is not befitting that the family of the Guru is put to suffering by you. Now he is giving the advice. Now she was crying, and now she is giving the advice. No, you should not kill this Guru. We should be righteous. Our Guru's son, we should not kill him. We should not do any harm to him. See? On the other hand, it deserves your respect and adoration at all times. Let not his mother, the daughter of Gautama, and the faithful wife of Drona weep and wail and have tear-swept face like myself owing to the death of her offspring. So let Ashwatthama's mother have no tears. If you kill him, she will be crying. So don't do that. See, it's a compassion. If the tribe of Brahmanas is provoked and enraged by the actions of unregenerate kings, these kings and their followers will meet with total destruction in the sorrow of those anguished Brahmanas. So Brahmana is considered very high position in this society, no? So he is saying, he is a Brahmana son, particularly your Guru also, Guru's son. So whatever they have done, but we should not kill. Suta again continued, O Brahmanas, the king Dharmaputra highly appreciated these words of the Panchali. O Brahmanas means, he's saying, O Brahmin people who are listening to me, you listen. The king Dharmaputra highly appreciated those words of this Draupadi, as they were righteous, lawful, merciful, sincere, balanced, and praiseworthy in every way. All others there, men and women, including Nakula, Sahadeva, Satyaki, Arjuna, and Lord Krishna, bore of Devaki, appreciated the plea of Draupadi Panchali. So everyone appreciated the attitude, how a mother who has lost 5 children, killed unethically like that, be so compassionate and now protect the killer who has destroyed his own children. No? So everyone started praising the Draupadi, the mother who lost the children. Then Bhima said to a very angry mood, execution is better favor than release for a villain of this type, who, though it served neither his master's nor his own purpose, still murdered the sleeping children for murder's sake. So what is the reason? So he should kill them. Bhima. Bhima was always little aggressive among the 5 brothers. Hearing the words of Bhimasena and of the daughter of Draupadi, Lord Krishna, the four-armed, studying the face of his friend Arjuna, told him with a smile, and Bhagavan Krishna said. Now all this conversation was going on, Krishna listening, and Krishna now is giving what he wants to advise. Krishna said, 53 verse, even a degraded Brahmana should not be slaughtered. So this is the mystery. That's why Bhagavad is, the story of Ramayana, Mahabharata is talking of so much ethical principle. At the point of death, at the point really it happened that the 5 children were slaughtered. At that moment, see the values which they are carrying, respect for the Brahmana. Even he is not the right type of Brahmana. He should not do, Brahmana should have some rules to follow. They cannot just go and do something unethical. But still, from your side, you should respect the Brahmana. So what a great value they used to carry. So Krishna said, even a degenerated Brahmana should not be slaughtered. A villainous murderer should be killed. Both are my injunctions. One, he is not taking this side, not that side. He said, even a degenerated Brahmana should not be slaughtered. That's one instruction. A villainous murderer, a murderer who is like villain, should be killed. Both are my injunctions. I say this also, I say this also. Act in a way that will be in fulfillment of both. You do act in such a way that both the ideas should be maintained. You have to fulfill the undertaking that you gave to comfort of your wife, namely to bring the head of the Aswattama. O Arjuna, you have said that you will bring the head of the Aswattama. You have also got to do what is pleasing to Bhima. Bhima said he should be killed. To Panchali, means the Draupadi wife, and to myself, Krishna. Act in a way that will accomplish all these 3. How can you do both? So Krishna is putting to test and saying, now you apply your buddhi and let all the 3 things can be accomplished at a time. Oh my God, you have to kill, you have to bring the head, and is a Brahmin, even Brahmin don't kill, but kill in such a way so that all these formulas are kept intact. Bhagavan. That's why Bhagavan also creates trouble for us. There's 2 types of statement. It's directly say, do this, and that's okay. No, he gives us the judgment. You can do this, this is the consequence, this is do, this is also rule, this is also rule, but do it in such a way, so long you are in the world, so that it makes a perfect sense that you have protected all the considerations, you have considerations all. Sutta said, Arjuna understood what the Lord had in mind, and accordingly he sheared off with his sword the head of Aswattama together with the crest jewel that was a natural feature on his head. So he took the sword and killed Aswattama. And his head was having a crown. He's a big warrior. They have their, as the military people, you see how many stars and this and that and that and the cap and all these are there, no? So with that, Aswattama's head was, and with the sword they killed. Who killed? Arjuna. Bereft of his spiritual aura by the sin of his child slaughterer, and deprived of his physical brilliance by the loss of his crest jewel, Aswattama was sent away from the camp of the Pandavas. So now execution for a degraded Brahmana consists in shearing off of the head tuft, confiscation of property and expulsion. So the infliction of physical death is prohibited. Along with Krishna, the Pandavas who were bemoaning the death of their children next attended to their cremation and other rites. So all then went together to do the last rites of this Ashwatthama and also their children. Now Sutta said, verse number, here is the end of this chapter. So along now, so the execution for a degenerated Brahman consists in shearing off the head tuft, confiscation of the property and expulsion. What is the, he says, let me read again. Arjuna understood what the Lord has in mind, and accordingly he sheared off with his sword the head tuft. Sorry, I was wrong. He didn't cut his head. The tuft. Tiki. They cut it. It is an insult for a Brahmin if you cut his tuft and take away his property and throw him out of the kingdom. So that is like killing. That becomes like killing. So the head tuft of the Ashwatthama, together with the crest jewel in his head, the honor, you take out that honor. This is the honor of Brahmin. You take out that, cut it. This is the honor, take out of that, no? And then a feature of this, bereft of the spiritual aura by the sin of child slaughterer and deprived of his physical brilliance by the loss of his crest jewel, Ashwatthama was sent away from the camp of the Pandavas, thrown out of the Pandava camp, no? Military camp. That means it's killing, it's almost killing, because your honor, your dignity, that has been lost. Execution for a degraded Brahmana, that is the norm of the rule, norm of those days, consists in shearing off the head tuft, confiscating all the property, and expulsion. The infliction of physical death is prohibited. Don't kill the Brahmin, but you take out the tuft. A fallen Brahmin, if you do something wrong, take out the crest jewel from his head and take out his property and throw away from the ground. That won't plant. That is the punishment, means it's almost like a death. The infliction of physical death is prohibited. That is the rule. Along with Krishna, the Pandavas who were bemoaning the death of their children next attended to their cremation and other rites. Okay? So, then they left and went into the cremation ground to do the last rites of the children, dead children. But what happened with Ashwatthama? Ashwatthama was with the cutting the tuft of the hair and the crown, the jewel taken away and then thrown out, and then out of the Pandava camp. So that is his death, as it were. Now, chapter 8. Question ki hobe? So we'll start the chapter 8 next day, okay? If there is some question for 2-3 minutes. Chapter 8, first book, Skanda, chapter 8, Krishna's preparation to depart. After the death of Ashwatthama, what will happen? We'll read that. This book only, the complication of this book is this: unless you have very deep knowledge who is these characters, what is their background, then you cannot enjoy very much. But overall, even we do not know much, but we can try to make a link between this and that, and also we get the values of the society. Even in the war field, when your own son is being killed, unethically, how do we behave, what was the greatness of Indian culture and tradition, what the question. Society was so much holding on to high ideals. And that's why the war is war against the injustice and other things, societies. And good, bad is always there. You cannot do anything of that. Good and bad is always there. What is the question? Jaima. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Are you enjoying this? I do not know. Huh? Because unless you are very much attentive, otherwise you see my mind will all be complicated. What is going on there? You see, I only misunderstood the head and forgot the tuft of the hair. I said that sword and kill. No, they didn't kill. Krishna said don't kill, because Brahmana should not be killed. So you have to keep that honor. At the same time, how is called real death? A very honorable person, if he is insulted, that's a death for him. With the values like that. A very honorable, very respectful person, if you can insult in front of others, it is almost like a death to that person.
So he accomplished all these things.
Yeah, all these things. In that sense, he has killed Aswathama and drove away tuft hair and the crown jewel of the crown, all taken away, property taken away, his honor taken away, and then thrown out, get out of this land. How to overcome panic and negative thoughts loop? Yeah, it is very difficult. Panic is panic. Negative thoughts loop, that's also. We have to counteract those things, I think, thinking of God always, positive thinking, and positive thinking. Negative thinking will be counteracted by the positive thinking. Panic, when it comes, we have to think, why I am panicking? What will happen? Oh, this, what is happening now? They see the condition. Arjuna could have panicked to death, but he took a resolution, he will kill. He will kill the perpetrator. So that is the one. Panic comes, if we know what will happen, I will die one day. Last one is death. Okay. If I die early, that's okay. Why am I getting panicked? Many people, that's the problem. We are all, not only this who is putting the question, but we are all, in our problem when it comes, what will happen, what will happen, what will happen? If this happen, then what will happen, no? See, if this earthquake comes, what will happen? We'll have to keep water, we'll have to torch, flashlight, we'll have to do, will you be able to collect them when suddenly something happens? Yeah, by God's grace you can. Sometimes even the thing will be there, you'll forget. So, when it happens, you will take care of it. But now why panicked? Don't go there. This nakshatra, this star is bad for you. You will fall in some danger. Your health will be hazardous. Don't go, don't do. Hurry. You are panic. No, don't get panic. You think I will not indulge into something wrong, but if it happens, I will have to face it. When it will come, it will come. There is a word. Morar age mor bona bhai mor bona. Before our real death, every day we die 100 times before our real death. What will happen? What will happen? So that's why we can counteract by thinking, ultimate thought, that yes, nothing to worry, one day I will die. Everyone will die. Here the Hitler is also so powerful, he is also dead. And these powerful people who created so much problem in political arena, they are also gone, they come, they go. What to be panicked? And consequences, if it comes, I will see what I can do at that time. So that gives the strength. And negative loop, positive thinking. That's why now, when I am not in the deep negative impressions, let me think of positive. Think of positive thinking. But mainly, we are spiritual seekers, so we should say, think of God. Keep your mind charged with some noble ideas. Take some mantra of the Bhagavad Gita, take some mantra of the Upanishads, read something of if you are Ramana Maharshi, read something of the Gospel of Ramakrishna. So think whatever uplifts you. That is the process. Another question, I request to make these classes as twice a week. Oh Baba, thank you. If I could do, but I think it will not be very interesting for most of the people because so many names and stories getting confused. But anyhow, that would have been much better if I could. But let us go on with this way, and we'll see if any time it happens, but not now. I thought that I will be reading. This is a wonderful way to read, continue reading, and know as much as you remember, as much as you understand, that's all. Another question, is worshipping Krishna the oldest faith in the world? That I cannot say. Before Krishna was Rama, before that God is worshipped in different ways. Mother worship also was there. So we cannot say that. But worship of God in different ways have been started from the primitive time. It is going on, worshipping the power, the spiritual energy, the divine is worshipped from the beginning. But Krishna, of course, Krishna's impact is tremendous impact. In Bali, Java, there you go, you can find the impact of Rama. Rama, Krishna, they have actually, it has gone into the very bone of the Indian culture. That's why we are talking about the Ramcharitmanas, when they talk about Rama's life story. Yesterday we were talking about in the evening, and Rama's, 10,000 people will be listening to Rama's glory. They will sing this state of Bhagavat reader. It is difficult to express in the English, but in Sanskrit and Hindi are very close. When Hindi-speaking people are there and these narrators are there, they have studied it well and depth, and they tell some stories and sing some songs in between, and then relating, captivating. 10,000 people will be listening to that talk. So yes, Krishna and Rama was before Krishna. So I think that it is God, whenever comes down in any way and form, they have their impact. And they have actually created this spiritual growth in the society. And it lingers till now, thousands of years being passed. So it is not stopped, but it is still continuing. I cannot see any question. Computer. Achha, there is a question in the computer, okay. Is there any spiritual significance or teachings in the story of Aswathama? Yes, that we can think. What is this story? Aswathama, in the mind of people, always there is a crooked side of it. We don't want to do the thing in right, straightforward manner, but stealthily we do that. So they are to harass Arjuna and to put the defeat of Arjuna. That was the idea. So Aswathama took a very wrong course. It should not have been taken. If you want to war, go for a war like a warrior, face to face, the rules and norms. So that type of tendency is there in everyone, as well as also our mind. So we should not encourage that type of thought more, rather to be honest and sincere and take the challenges of life in the right manner. I think that may be the teachings of the story, significance that we become victims of life's tragedies and problems, but should we behave like Arjuna or behave like Aswathama? If Aswathama could have got a chance, he would not have excused Arjuna. But Arjuna, being that, because Arjuna got the guidance from Krishna, he said, you are to kill because he is a Brahmin not following their norms. But again, you should not kill even Brahmin does something wrong because he is your Guru's son. No, you should not do. And balance all these things. And he found out with intelligence how to live in life, balancing all this situation. And yes, they're destroying the ego, dishonoring him because he is not behaving like a Brahmin as he should have behaved, as we should behave. We don't do that. So if someone comes in our life to guide us and takes little this type of method, so we should not be upset. We should learn that yes, that evil, negative things should be avoided from life and be always positive. Because someone does something wrong, you should not be equally going to that level. There is in Bengali there is a word, kukurer kaj kukure koreche. Manushe ki tai soha paye. Suppose a dog, when they are fighting with each other, the dog bites a dog. Or dog is angrily goes and bites some human being. Yeah? It is the activity of the dog. Dogs normally do that. But will you as a human being go and bite a dog? So this is the point. There may be something, but you should be little sensible. You should follow the norms and the spiritual values. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So now we shall be again here at 7:30 for the class Shanti Gita, the Song of Peace by Bhagavan Krishna again. We got Krishna's instruction here also, but that's also Bhagavan Krishna's. That is the same war, only again another son of Krishna is killed, Abhimanyu, and advised by Krishna. Okay? Very Vedantic book and very interesting book. Thank you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.